Alright, so it's day 21. I'm on the opposite end of that beach that I was telling you about yesterday. Turns out it's 50k pretty much, not 90. 90 would have been insane, but it's still absolutely massive. I'll show you it now. I'll show you where I am. It looks almost like a desert. There's just so much sand up here. It's actually a mine for sand. If you can see any of those pipes poking out of the ground, I think that's associated with the mine. I hopped a gate to get in here, but obviously there's also plenty of kids. See, just had a chat to those blokes before. They're just here having some fun. Found a way of getting their ute on the beach, type thing. And yeah, I was telling them about the trip, and they were just like, didn't quite get it at first, and then they're like, "Oh, sick. Have a good one, man," type thing, which is cool. Anyway, today was a bit of a bitch. I'm cramping up. I haven't got enough salt in me. It's kind of ironic that I've just been selling water as the cure remedy for everything, and funnily enough, well, it is, but it's not the whole story. Partly frickin' salt and food and everything, and because I haven't had enough salt in me, I've been I just stop. Can't think and walk at the same time. Typical bloke. I haven't had enough salt in me. I've been cramping up. The muscles just don't work, and so from about 15 k's in from today, I like you could feel my muscles in my calf, left calf, just feeling real tight. They kind of feel electric, and they're just tightening up, and then they just sort of spasm all of a sudden, and you just get almost like a shock. And I was like yelping like a dog for the first little while, and so it's not good. But by the time I stopped halfway, I was having heaps of sports drink, and I smashed some of those salt tablets that I've got, which I've obviously got to up the intake of, because they're feeling a bit better in the second half of the run. Which is sweet. So it means that this should be an easy remedy, but I mean, now I've got to take a rest day that I didn't schedule in because the muscle's not going to be in great shape. It's pretty sore. So I'm going to stop in Nelson Bay, which is, if you can see over there, that's going to be something like Fingal Bay, or I don't know, I think that's on the other side, but where I've got to go is still that way, like 10 kilometres on the other side of this sand dunes. And of course, back down that way, of course you can't really see it, is where I was standing yesterday at this time, and I've run from there, which is always pretty cool. It's always a good feeling just to stare out back to where you came from and just ponder, think back over it. But yeah, no, I'm still in good shape. I'm still going to be fine. It was a bit of a shock. I felt very mortal. Having such bad cramps. Like, I've had all sorts of ailments so far that I haven't spoken about, and this one was a bit of a surprise. So I'm glad to know that it's probably going to be okay. It's not going to be life-threatening or run stopping, but I've got to be a bit more careful in future to make sure I get the right amount of salt into me. So yeah, I'll have a rest day tomorrow, and I'll let you know how I'm going then. Alright, cheers, see ya.